Most of us spent over a decade in school, yet the lessons that shape real life were strangely missing. Number 7, how to learn, not memorize. School trained us to memorize information, dates, formulas, definitions, and steps. You studied hard, repeated the same lines again and again, and then wrote them on an exam paper. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Memorization helped you pass tests. It didn't prepare you for life, because life constantly changes. New technology appears, jobs evolve, skills become outdated, and the people who survive in this fast-changing world are not the ones with the best memory. They are the ones who know how to learn quickly. Real learning is not about remembering answers. It's about understanding concepts. It's about asking questions like, why does this work? How can I improve this? What happens if I try a different method? Think about the most successful people you know. They are always curious. They read, they experiment, they test ideas, and they adjust when things don't work. They don't wait for someone to teach them. They teach themselves. School rarely shows you how to learn independently. It gives you instructions, assignments, and deadlines. But in the real world, nobody hands you a clear path. You have to build your own. And once you truly understand how to learn, you gain a powerful advantage. You can switch careers, you can solve problems faster, you can adapt to new challenges without fear, because learning becomes your superpower. But even with strong learning skills, there is something that stops many people from moving forward. And that is the fear of failure. Number 6, how to handle failure. In school, failure felt like punishment. A low grade meant embarrassment. A failed test meant disappointment. And mistakes were treated like something to avoid. You were taught to aim for perfection. But life doesn't work that way. In the real world, failure is not rare. It is normal. Businesses fail, projects fail, plans fail, even experienced professionals make mistakes. The difference between successful people and stuck people is not intelligence. It is how they respond to failure. Most people panic when they fail. They feel ashamed. They lose confidence. They stop trying. But successful people do something different. They study their mistakes. They look at failure like feedback, like information. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, they ask, what can I learn from this? That mindset changes everything. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall again and again, dozens of times. But they never think, I failed. They simply try again. Somewhere along the way, school teaches us to fear mistakes, to protect our grades, to avoid risks. But growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Every failure carries a lesson. Every mistake contains valuable information. And the sooner you accept failure as part of the journey, the faster you move forward. But even if you become comfortable with failure, there is another skill that controls your daily life more than you realize. And most schools never teach it. Number 5, understanding your emotions. You spent years learning academic subjects, math, science, language, history, but very few people were taught how to understand their own emotions, what to do when you feel stressed, how to calm yourself when anxiety hits, how to manage anger without hurting relationships, and this creates a hidden problem. People grow up with knowledge in their heads, but confusion in their hearts. They react without thinking. They make decisions based on temporary emotions. They say things they later regret. Emotional intelligence is not just about feelings. It's about control. It's about recognizing what you feel and choosing how to respond. For example, you feel frustrated. Instead of shouting, you pause. You feel nervous. Instead of quitting, you prepare. You feel angry. Instead of reacting, you breathe. That small moment of awareness can change your entire life because emotions influence everything. Your career choices, your friendships, your confidence, your mental health. People with strong emotional intelligence handle pressure better. They communicate more clearly. They build stronger relationships, and most importantly, they stay calm when others panic. School teaches you how to solve equations, but life requires you to manage yourself. And once you learn to understand your emotions, you begin to see something deeper. Success is not only about knowledge, it is about behavior. And the next lesson goes even further, into a skill that quietly determines whether people trust you. or ignore you. Number 4, how to communicate clearly. School tested your knowledge, but life tests your communication. You could be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't explain your ideas clearly, people will overlook you. Think about job interviews. Many candidates have similar qualifications, similar degrees, similar skills. Yet one person gets the job. Why? Because they communicate better. They speak with clarity. They listen carefully. They express their thoughts in a simple, confident way. Communication is not just about talking, it's about being understood. Most conflicts in life don't happen because people are bad. They happen because people misunderstand each other. School teaches grammar and vocabulary, but it rarely teaches how to handle difficult conversations. How to disagree without being rude. How to say no without guilt. These are life skills, because your success depends not only on what you know, but on how well you can share it with others. And once you master communication, another powerful realization begins to form. Your life is not controlled by luck. It is shaped by the choices you make every single day. Number 3, how to make decisions. Every day you make decisions, small ones, big ones, and sometimes life-changing ones. What career to choose, who to trust, when to take a risk, when to walk away. But here's the truth. School rarely teaches decision-making. It teaches you to follow instructions, to choose the correct answer from 4 options. Real life doesn't give you multiple choice questions. It gives you uncertainty, and the ability to make good decisions becomes one of the most valuable skills you can have. Good decision makers don't rush. They gather information. They think about consequences. They ask themselves, will this help me tomorrow? Will this move me forward or hold me back? Many people struggle in life not because they lack talent, but because they make poor decisions repeatedly. Strong decision-making creates confidence, because once you trust your own judgment, fear loses its power, and that control leads to something even more powerful, a skill that quietly determines your future success. Number 2, how money really works. School taught you math, addition, subtraction, equations, percentages. But very few people were taught how money actually works, how to save, how to invest, how to avoid debt. So many adults earn money, but still struggle financially. Not because they are lazy, not because they are careless, because they were never taught the rules of money. Money is not just about income, it's about habits. Spending wisely, planning ahead, understanding the difference between needs and wants. For example, 2 people earn the same salary. One saves a portion every month, the other spends everything immediately. 10 years later, their lives look completely different. Financial knowledge creates freedom. Freedom to make choices. Freedom to handle emergencies. Freedom to live without constant stress. And once you understand money, you begin to see something clearly. Your future is not determined by how much you earn. It is determined by how well you manage what you have. Number 1, how to take responsibility. This is the lesson that quietly sits behind every success story and every failure. Responsibility. Not the kind forced on you by teachers or parents, but the kind you choose to carry yourself. Because at some point in life, excuses stop working. You can blame your school, you can blame your boss, you can blame your past, but none of those things will change your future. Responsibility is the moment you say, my life is my job. It's when you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop waiting for motivation, you stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and you start acting. This is where many people get stuck. They want success, but they avoid responsibility. They want results, but they avoid effort. They want change, but they keep blaming circumstances. Responsible people think differently. When something goes wrong, they don't ask, who is at fault? They ask, what can I do now? That single shift in mindset is powerful because responsibility gives you control. It turns problems into challenges, mistakes into lessons, setbacks into comebacks. And once you take responsibility for your time, your actions, and your choices, your life starts to move forward faster than you ever expected. This is the lesson school should have taught first. Because when you take responsibility, everything else, learning, failure, emotions, communication, decisions, and money, finally starts to make sense.